Come in with that energy.
Hey, careful now.
I did.
Someone's mic.
Hmm?
Turn your volumes down on your YouTubes. Let's do this.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? We on. We on. We on.
Yo.
And we own. And we own.
So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the first of our sessions, Nomadic Massive. These are the sessions, 12 of them for you. We're coming to you live from different parts of the world. We got Ali Sepu here in Laval, Quebec. We got Miriam in Montreal. We got Butter Beats and DG. We got who we got Wally in
St. Henry.
Saint Henri. We got Jean-Michel. Where you at?
Park X.
Park X.
Oh yeah, that's where we can find him. That's good. And Mark, Mark, of course, he's been all over the world. I don't know where he is right now. Where are you, Mark?
My skin, brother.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So here we are coming to you guys live. Gonna share a little time with you, and we're gonna explore a little bit of the creative process that is Nomadic Massive. And thank you very much for being here with us today. We got Lou on his way. We got Tally also on her way, setting things up so that we can take a look at what it's like behind the scenes. And let's start off with some introductions. I think we can go with that. As I said before, I'm Ali Sepu, and been in this group since the beginning, and we're still growing. So I'm going to be hosting until Lou comes in. But let's pass it over to Wally, see what he can tell us. How's it been going, Wally, since the pandemic started? That's right. That's right. Wally, you hear me?
Unmute.
You're muted, bud. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about the last year for you. How's it been going?
What up? What up? What up? You hear me?
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been great. Sorry, it seems like there's a weird delay happening, but we're all figuring it out this together right now. But yes, right now, yeah, man, been good, man. Swally, repping Nomadic as always. Know what I mean? I got my shirt, you know what I'm saying? In case like
Just in
don't
case.
bring your kids, you know what I'm saying? Don't bring your
That's
kids
right.
up in there. You know what I'm saying?
It's parental guidance and advisory.
No
Both
doubt,
together.
no doubt,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
keeping
indeed.
it real, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. So yeah, man, how did it go with the pandemic? Like, were you able to get things done? Did you take it for hibernation?
Let's say, let's say like my time as during this pandemic has been quite creative. I feel blessed for that. Not everyone around me who's been blessed to be creative, but yeah, I was been able to come out with a project last year, 2020, soap opera, and then just been creating more music, you know, staying creative. My creativity keeps me sane.
That's right. You got to keep art in your heart if you want things to keep on looking up. So how about you, Mimi? How's the projects going? I've been seeing you blowing up on Instagram. Do you have anything on the horizons you can talk about?
Yes. What up, everybody? It's been a while. It's been weird also to do things virtually and to adjust to this new way of doing things, but it's so cool to be with you guys again, even in this format. But yeah, I've just been trying to stay creative. Been having some ups and downs with that. Last year I had a little bit more of um of a process that was working. I released a project, but then after that, it was a bit tougher to get back in the groove of things. So it was up and down, but I got to collaborate with a few projects that were really dope. So it's just been keeping me in the zone. But I also been working a lot on the other side of things that is not music. So just rebuilding things around and staying creative as much as I can on the side.
Yeah, trying to hustle on one side and then trying to keep things going on the other. That's what it feels like for everybody there. And well, let's keep it moving. Then Butter Beats right in the middle of the screen, at least in the middle of my screen.
I'm
What
on
can
the
you tell
far
us?
left of mine.
Okay, what can you tell us about this life in the pandemic?
I got two crazy kids that jump in on my neck. Right now, they're nipping at my heels. I hate them, but I love them at the same time.
That's right. That's what it's about.
And, honestly, that fuels obviously a bit of the creativity. I've been lucky to get a teaching job at RAC, which is a college downtown and really in my field, teaching a class called Music and Computers. So, yeah, and just always writing a lot of raps. I've been writing a lot of raps and making a lot of beats and stacking samples and trying to create new sounds.
And what's it like creating with two kids running around the house? Do you find the time, or do you gotta get out?
You got to distract them.
This is nomadic lessons for parents. A lot of us are trying to navigate this space, and it shows the longevity of this group. But it is possible. It is possible. You got to get it in there after maybe 9 o'clock work.
9
until 1 in the
o'clock. 9
morning.
o'clock is amazing. It's the amazing hour.
Yeah, guys, man, I'm gonna call DYP. That's kind of late, bro.
No, to put them to bed at 9. They're usually in bed by like 8. But they might creep out of the crib. You don't want to roll up and be like, Daddy, Papa, I'm scared.
I'm scared.
Then I'm like, hold up, let me just finish this bass line real quick.
Couple bass lines there, a few bottles, pouring rum in baby bottles. That was some advice that I got when I was quite young. It's one of my favorite artists. He wrote that in one of his verses there. I got Tally's there. I don't know, but I got Jean-Michel.
Yeah.
If Tally's ready, she can pop
Yeah,
on the
because
camera.
some people are asking for Tally, but JM
Ooh.
also they're asking for JM too.
Oh, okay.
asking for
So
me?
Tally is being.
Let JM go first. Let JM go first.
All
No,
right,
no,
Jim,
no.
all right.
Come on now.
Uh.
That's way too much pressure for me now.
Anyone got a coin? We can flip this
Bro,
one.
Froze go first, man.
The what?
Froze.
Froze.
Froze
That's
go
a new
first.
one.
Okay, let's go. Afros.
Hey, the more you know, man. I guess knowledge is power. So
No
thank
doubt,
you for
man.
that one.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us, JM? I know you've been busy, man.
Yeah, I'm just running around like a chicken with no head. So yeah, no, I'm just working, man. Doing a whole bunch of songs. Working. I released that was part of like 2 projects this year. I was with Planet Giza and Malia Aloha also. So produced on both of those albums. They were Malika Tillian also. She got an album out, so worked a little bit on that and just trying to make something happen.
This guy is working all the time, man. He's one of the hardest guys to find.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
And yet he'll hang out after a practice for hours, just chatting. And so you gotta cherish those moments. You gotta cherish those moments as we do.
Congrats, my
Stop
man.
it, man.
That's right.
Oh man, thanks. And stop it, Ali, man. I'm blushing now.
Okay, all right. So Tally, you want to finish? I'll let you finish your food and I'll pass to. Are you ready?
No, Pat. If there's somebody else,
well, I mean, there's only one guy I know that's harder to find, and that's Mark. Mark is a guy that I remember when we started playing together. I used to just go to his house. That was the way. Just go to his house and wait outside. What can you tell us, Mark? How's it been going for you?
Oh man, it's pretty busy actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's been cool to be able to just sit back also and learn some new shit. Like just
in the break, you mean?
Yeah, just get into some new things and experiment with sounds and Logic Pro and yeah.
Absolutely, man. I feel that we didn't really have time when we were always touring to just try new genres, make mistakes. That's it. So is there anything you got into in particular?
Oh, it's like, well, Nadine Altunji, another person named Stan. got a new bass.
Nice. How many chords?
17, Wally.
17, yeah.
No.
Yeah, we were playing. What was it last of Javan? There's the one that I discovered over this break.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Javan. There's like a lot of things that I mean, there's so many things to pick and choose when you're always playing the same songs. It's tricky to step out of that kind of paradigm. So let's see what do you got for us, Tally? We're still waiting for Lou, but Tally's there. You know, always smiling, always keeping it real for sure.
Some people in the chat was like, you know, how can you eat during a meeting?
Yeah, it's like reality. You know, we eat.
It is reality.
It's the thing that we
Exactly.
do. It's the thing that we do.
This is a behind the scenes
Totally.
experience, right? Mhm.
That's right.
So behind my scene is a lot going on, but during this time, yeah, man, I just been, I mean, on my day grind quite a bit, and just, but he's got like 2 kids running around. I got a 7-year-old who's turning 55 in the summer. So
turning 55.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is an honorary Nomadic member. He's toured with us. He's done therapy sessions with us, meditation.
He's on a couple of records. He's on some videos.
He is.
He replaced Butter a few times on the drums.
Times.
On the drums
Yeah,
for the soundtracks. That's
sub
it.
for the soundtracks.
Yeah.
He misses all of you very much. He's quite upset that, as he put it, we can't tour.
Yes.
Yeah, so it bothers him quite a bit. And of course, if he could be, he'd be here right now telling you about his life. But yeah, what I've been doing, like music and stuff, I've been in the process of just building I'd like to do in terms of some solo music. So I got some opportunity to kind of just think that through.
Right.
And I've been trying to write. It's been tough to write. I have a homie, who's always like on my messenger asking me how many bars I wrote. So thanks to Cool Man. Shout out to Cool Man Logan, who's just been keeping me on a little bit of a grind here and there, trying to just write at least 2 bars every while or something. But yeah, that's been kind of it. Just listening to other kinds of music too, taking in some new artists and checking out the projects that people are involved in.
Yeah, so there's like a little thing that we've all kind of mentioned, right? Discovering new things, having time to look inside and create new types of music, and like it's weird because when you have more time, sometimes you don't use it effectively. When you're busy, you grind. So how do you guys like keep the discipline without having, you know, a show coming up or a practice coming up for, like, we can go back around, but like that's something I think that people would be interested in. Like, how do you push yourself? You're lucky to have someone pushing there online. Everybody has some support. What about you, Wally? Do you have a routine in how you do this thing, how you keep things going?
I have a whiteboard.
Okay.
I write everything on it.
Yeah.
Why a whiteboard, Wally?
Because, you know, the roles got to change one day, bro.
There it is.
Okay. Yes, indeed.
There it is.
Power,
Black
bro.
power.
Yeah. Keeping the discipline. I mean, it's been tough, but I mean, but, you know, putting things down and also setting dates and timelines has been really helpful for me to put things not only in perspective, but, you know, to start something and finish it, you know, and to know that there's a goal to reach, you know, and to be motivated by that goal, you know, and be excited by that goal, you know, because there'll be definitely obstacles that will come. I mean, that been on my road while just trying to complete projects. And then basically the goal motivates me to, you know, apply discipline and, you know, try my best, even though I'm not inspired some days. And I don't want, just like trying to push it, you know, I could do 1 line there, like Tali was saying, or 2 lines there, but at least, you know, I've done something. I've invested at least, you know, sometimes in the project, even like, you know, sometimes just go walk outside and thinking about your project. I think it's part of the creative process, you know, to go outside, take a walk in the park, breathe, smell the fresh air, and then that's part of the creative process. Sometimes I come back and I have more ideas, but so I guess it's a mix of everything.
I don't know what you guys think, but I think this guy's very humble. If you follow this guy's trajectory, Wally's trajectory, I think you might even you might even wonder if there was a pandemic with all of the things that he accomplished over this time. It started with a boat tour, not tour, but a show on the Lachine Canal. And I don't know if anyone's read, but recently I think they're trying to turn this whole spot into now a venue where people can watch shows on the and so who's the pioneer of this, right? Then you had some
Innovator.
rooftop sessions, some videos come out. It's just like it's
Thanks.
unreal. So props to you, Wally, for keeping things going.
Yeah,
And-
I remember when we thank you for that. I remember
Oh.
when we did the boat thing. The owner, Miriam was there, but the owner of the H2O or whatever, general manager,
Uh-huh.
actually came on an electric boat, to watch the show, and he was taking pictures, and then with his phone. And I looked at him because at first we were like, can we actually do that? Because I was not sure if when we can actually do that thing. But anyway, he took pictures and he was really happy about being an idea that's so innovative and then so safe as well. Because he really, the safety, the safe part of this event was the one that he liked the most,
This was last summer, right? Where we
Last
were still
summer.
in severe lockdown, and for me, it was the first time I went out. I think a lot of people appreciated that moment. Even there was people on the docks that didn't get boats
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
It was at the
I've,
timing.
I've never heard Lachine Canal being called safe until now.
Well, things are
They got
things are
them three-eyed
changing.
fish. Them three-eyed fish. Them three-eyed fish.
And people can go check the video. The video is there. You can see Miriam just going nuts and just vibing in the pedalo,
We let
in
it
the
all
pedal
out.
boat.
Yeah, we let it all out.
People
That's
were
so
doing
true.
sports at the same time, enjoying the music. That was actually fun. It was a good
But-
gathering. The sound was shit though.
Okay.
Yeah, it transcended the sound. I remember when you almost fell in the water at some point, and then you saved it pretty well.
Imagine. I'm like, shit,
Oh,
the
man.
speaker's in the water. Are you okay, Wally? No.
Farewell to
Fine.
me. Yeah. So let's go, Mimi. Talk discipline, Mimi. How do you keep it going? You got a lot of things on your plate, that I know.
Yeah, discipline for me is tough because discipline means consistency.
Mhm.
That's been stupid hard to do to keep up with, and especially when things keep on changing every 5 minutes in terms of the rules of what we can do, what we can't do. So there's projects that you start working for and then they get canceled, then you lose your adrenaline, and then you're like wah, 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 wah. And so it's just like wow. Anyway, so it took a while to get into a phase where I was able to keep
What's the sound for a while? Could you make the sound effect for that?
Yes. Patented.
on Nomadic Legend expressions. But yeah, so I legit was proud of myself for a while. I was even like taking voice lessons, and so I was like, no matter what, I'm gonna make sure I'm singing every day, even if I'm not writing, because I was having like a little writer's block session.
Yeah.
I would say, not just, but I would just try to like sing as much as I could, because I realized sometimes I would like just really shut down completely, and it kills your spirit, so you have to keep it alive somehow. At the beginning I was like trying to get acquainted with the lives on Instagram and stuff,
Right.
but I didn't get to it, like I didn't mesh with it just yet. So I think I still have a little bit of updating to do with the whole digital connection thing.
Right.
But on day to day, at least I try to keep some music alive around me. And I got to collaborate on a bunch of projects that kept me kind of having to keep writing or performing in different ways of even like freestyling, like whatever it was. I like took on whatever came along just to make sure um I was still kind of alive in this,
Absolutely.
so it kind of like goes up and down in terms of the creativity, I would say, because I'm not at all in a space where I'm doing it the way I wish I could do it, but I'm working myself up to it. I do think there's a beauty in the consistency of like making sure you're writing every day, even if it's a little bit, or like for me, like working on my vocals every day, or
Yeah.
recording melodies or ideas, but it's sometimes it gets tough, so it's almost like now a tool to keep myself afloat and sane, to make sure I do it or keep it in my weekly habits.
Yeah, it's like we're planting seeds, but at this moment you don't know if that thing that you're learning is going to make it into a song, and then maybe your growth, you'll observe it, in a year or something. I certainly felt like that with playing a lot of the same things on guitar, and then suddenly having time to just explore different genres, like Mark was saying. So we were lucky as a band to have a couple things happen right at the beginning. There was the Nuit d'Afrique show. We had the Disc nomination. What else did we do? There was the radio show that we did for
Université de Montréal.
yes, University of Montreal show. The
Concert Campbell.
Campbell concerts. So that really gave us, like, I think I felt like that was a little jolt that we got, because everyone was just sort of like, what do we do?
Hmm.
And we were able to do it. That was very, very early on. If you think about it, we were respecting all of these sanitary um, guidelines, but luckily we got things to do. So I'm gonna move to Bud. I see he wants to say something. So discipline, discipline in the time of COVID.
Well, yeah, I've been lucky. Like I said, I've been lucky to work throughout COVID with my teaching job, so that's kept me afloat and positive. And it's obviously it's intimately involved with music. I see a lot of young creators, so I get to be inspired every day.
Right.
I've had some really great students, some not so great, but most great. And
Shout out to all of them.
shout out to all of them. They're all beautiful people. I love you all. Professor Butters loves you.
That's right.
And no, I get to joke around a lot, be myself, and it's not a super formal college teaching situation either. So I'm quite happy. I get to work in studio pretty much all day. So that's right up where I want to get to in my own professional like circumstances. Just be really comfortable in any studio I walk into, whether it be an analog board or a digital board, and just I've been lucky also to learn a lot from my colleagues as well. So yeah, like professional upgrade, I think that's what every artist is trying to do. And then a little bit of research, creation, exploration,
And
which is what led to this writing the grant for this project that we're doing now. So that was also part of it, like being forced to reinvent ourselves in certain ways got us to where we are right now, So
absolutely.
Question for you, real quick. Sorry to intervene.
Go, man. Go
someone in the chat is asking for a beatbox. If you could beatbox, I don't know.
I'm gonna make a suggestion. In your Zoom options, you can in the audio settings. Maybe you know this already. I don't want to be like that guy who's telling you what you know.
Yeah, are you telling Wally or are you telling me?
I'm telling you. There's a thing that says automatically adjust microphone in the audio part of it, and because what it does is it kind of like when you go louder, it cuts it off. So if you want to unclick that, then we'll be able to hear that beatbox.
Yeah, that beatbox was like muted.
No, but all the feeling and emotion was there. We
can feel it.
Oh, yeah, maybe because I temporarily. It's because I'm also it's the microphone that I'm using as well. It's really it's a cardioid. It's a dynamic cardioid microphone.
It's fancy.
Yeah,
it's fancy, but it's
talking technology.
It's made for talking. It's not made for beatboxing.
That's it.
I was
gonna say, I think we can come back around with that if we fix that technically. You got into Pro Tools over this time as well, right? Because you were more into Logic.
Yeah, I was working actually towards my Logic certification, so I started doing some exams, and then this job became like a very Pro Tools centric thing, and it was like a boot camp. I had to learn the ins and outs of a very complex program in like 2 weeks, and I had a lot of positive encouragement. People really encouraged me. They said you could do it, and so fucking did it.
He did it, man. He did it. I was there.
I fucking did it. I'm a pro.
And that's what it is. You got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. So we're on
Cool.
discipline. We're on pandemic, but I want to bring Lou into the conversation because there he is.
Man.
And we've all introduced ourselves, talked a little bit about how we've been handling the past year. So I'll let you take the floor for a second, and then maybe we can move on with the regularly scheduled program.
Well, believe it or not, everything was going beautifully until about 1 to 8. At which point, a very famous laptop of mine decided to present itself with a blue screen. Anybody know the blue screen?
Blue screen of death, is it called? Is that right?
It might be.
We
called
know
that.
the blue screen.
I mean, I'm supposed to come in with some jazzy music in the back, you know what I mean? Introducing
That's it.
everything.
That's it.
Smoothed out, but we'll run with it. What up, everybody? I'm happy to be here, all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil, joining the fam, long distance, Lu Piensa, Nomadic Massive. What are we talking about?
We're talking about discipline in the pandemic era. How did you keep things going? How did you remain productive in this thing? And of course, you lived a different reality in Brazil. Maybe people might be interested to hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to spend the whole time talking about the pandemic situation in Brazil because it's not very aspiring, unfortunately. Right. But definitely a complicated situation out here. That being said, musically, yeah, I mean, at first it was really tough, I think, because everything we know, and basically livelihood becomes a big question mark, Got used to traveling, to doing music, to connecting, to even to meeting up with you guys, through the long distance, and that became like a routine, and suddenly just everything is shut off, and start to think about, because I went all the way in, so it really is my livelihood, and I literally did my CV again after like 12 years, so that was weird, but you have to step up to the plate, and then eventually things, fall into place. So artistic projects, once I got into these online projects, because all these things popped up, and I got to connect with a lot of great people online, and then started doing a lot of collaborations, and then started doing a lot of productive work, really musically, and then started building projects. So it gave me a chance to like fall back and really like imagine something else, options, and not look down, but always look up and try to always find alternatives to keep going with what we love to do, And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, me and Lou attended many online events. If you remember, it was during the winter we did the showcases. We went to a couple listening sessions. So it was like, I remember we were going out. Remember, he was in Brazil and I'm here, and we were getting ready, cologne and everything, getting ready for the sessions. So that was really fun. It was like it brought some kind of like activities and like things, something to look forward to. Like we hope that you look forward to these Friday sessions with us,
Right.
whoever's out there, ladies and gentlemen. So I think if we presented everyone, Lou, if you'd like to take the mic and talk a little bit about the project, that's where we're at in the
definitely. I mean, the project itself is, I think, well, for me, it definitely is that. And, we were at a point where we were thinking, what else can we do? We can't do shows, that's for sure. Or if we do some, they're going to be only a few. They're going to be online. We can't meet up again. And so, we kind of envisioned something online where we could keep creating. And so we came up with this idea, and the project, which is funded by the Canada Council for the Arts, shout outs on this one, allowed us to like delve deep into like, let's get creative again. Let's try to do it even with the distance, but on top of just, weekly dedicating ourselves to creating some new Nomadic Massive ideas. Mm-hmm. Let's do this online thing so we could connect with the community too, and people could ask questions. And then eventually, as we'll grow and build music, people can comment as well and suggest things if they have them, see the process as it goes. And we'll also be on I think on our toes, because we'll have to produce stuff for this Friday night, so it'll be interesting to have that push to show something as well. So that's the way we saw it. So I mean, we envisioned it like that, and we thought, what better way to do something than to do it now online, you know what I mean, and have people interact with us. and watch us do it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and that idea came about more or less when we were in those showcases. I remember when we were kind of talking about how it might work, and it's funny to see that here we are after all of the planning and conceptualizing. And so, just like, you know, a little bit of the creative process that we go into in the studio is something that was from jump with Nomadic. You know, the sort of jam, but then jamming to look for gems, and then once we find the gems, try to expand on those things and bring in the concepts, bring in the vocalists, and have something build very, very organically. So that was a challenge to do that at a distance, but I think we've jumped in and something's coming out of it already. If the audio is anything to show for that. How do we are we able to share something like that at this moment, or?
Yeah, but I wanted to go back before we do that. I wanted to go back because I think creative process is something that a lot of people ask us about. You know, every time we do an interview, we rarely get interviews about our lyrics. Don't know why. 15 years after writing rhymes, nobody cares about what we wrote, the way we wrote it.
Yes.
The musical aspect, but there's one question that always comes back, and it's like, how do you guys do it? You're so many,
right?
All these different ideas, all these different things, right? So
you're so different.
You're so different.
Who's the
cultural
leader?
backgrounds? We're to blame for that because the multicultural is there in our bio. So
yes,
we're running with it. But people think multicultural means like, people that are completely different. And the truth is, when it comes to this music and this hip hop thing, that's the bridge right there, right? So, but that being said, the influences are very, very different. And anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but the differences are greater now than they were before because everybody's expanded into all these different universes and listening to all sorts of different things.
I mean, individually and as a result of Nomadic, because
both,
of the tours,
right?
Just
growing too, right? I think everybody's grown. So I think interesting thing would be to go back, and think about like what was the creative process at the very beginning, because what it really was for this big band. And, here we are, 8 people right now. But, I guess 15 years ago, it was sometimes even more because we always would invite people, back in the days when we had like the Moises come in. Shout out to Moise. And, we always wanted to add an instrument and stuff like that. So still, what would be the process when you bring all these people in? And I think it was all about a jam. And I got a verse, let me try it on here. I got a verse here, let me try it on here. It kind of makes sense together, boom. A chorus here, a chorus there. So I don't know if anybody want to expand on that kind of organic way of putting stuff together, because I know it intrigues people, not us, but it intrigues people how, such a big.
I mean, at the very core, if I go back to think about, where it starts for me in the band, it has a lot to do with Butter Beats and me doing the beatbox and classical guitar stuff at house parties around the plateau mostly. And I think that was the beginning of realizing you didn't need much to get things going. And so when we started getting in the studio and moved into drum kits and electrified sound, that essence was still kind of there, and it's still there. When we get in the studio and he starts playing, it's like it will lead me into something. And so for me, that's where I see the original stuff. Beatbox, classical guitar. Anybody else want to chime in there?
The truth is, it all began also with some beats, and you were the only musician in the whole setup.
That's true. Yeah.
And eventually Butter jumped on the drums, and Jigal, who was with us before, hopped on the bass. But originally you were playing with Static. Yes. Static was our DJ Static, and he was actually making beats, spinning the turntables. So he was doing some live juggling. So true. You were playing the guitar.
Yeah. Even bass sometimes I played. Terribly, Mark, by the way. But I did play a little bit of bass.
Yo, guys, the chat is going crazy. So okay. Just a quick intervention. So Malika said JM is on the live. This is the end of the world.
It's a sign. It's a sign.
We had no clue that he was going to be here. He just showed up. There was no confirmation.
Oh man, please stop it.
Don't change, man. Don't change. This is part of who you are, man. You're elusive.
Oh please, man. I don't have no answer for that.
So
And
busy,
hey,
so
Malik,
busy.
Anyway, there's Paul and Tasha from Ottawa also
Nice.
says what's up. And
What's
then
up,
also
Paul?
Evan Shea has a beautiful question, very long question, but we'll get on with that later and keep on with the creative process of Nomadic.
Yeah, you can't go against the current, man.
No,
The
very
current.
difficult. Anybody else want to chime in on the creative process from anybody that's there? I mean, you guys are all part of it.
I'm curious to hear from Mark
Me.
about our creative process. Like
That's interesting.
when you came into working with us more consistently and more regularly, even in the creation process, not just or to just perform. And JM, of course, you can jump in, but I'm just curious because I remember when we were struggling to communicate certain things in a professional musical way, right? Like people confusing volume with harmony, or wanting, let's say, a melody to sound a certain way, but the instruction would be like would be about completely unrelated.
The way we used to communicate until Mark and JM.
Exactly. Like it used to be like ba ba ba, no ba ba ba.
So true.
It would just be these
I
Listen,
I loved it actually. Me.
Go on.
I just think music is a language. I just loved it. I just thought it was like, oh, you can, everything. I'm visual kind of too, so everything you see and hear in life can be related to music to me. So if you go bam bam bam, I'm thinking about all kinds of things. Like let's try it.
That's true.
I'm not asking for your exact notes. I just want to, is that a feel? Is that how you want it? I like that. It's cool for me. I like just expressing whatever and turning it into music. It's cool. I love it. So
Mark's a real cool guy. That's the one thing we should add as well.
Yeah, bottom line, real cool guy.
Yeah, I've asked him what chord I was playing, and he said, "Don't worry about it. I trust your ear." That's what he said. That to me.
Cool as a cucumber.
Wow.
So I mean, as long as we're going for that perspective, why don't we bring Jean-Michel? What do you think? I don't know if he has the same opinion. He's very patient.
Oh man, yeah, I guess I am. No, but I mean, it's because also it's like, yeah, I mean, I study music and all that, but really, like the kind of music that I like or anything is not something that you learn at school. So it's just basically like I guess the music of the times, or even before that. It's like, yeah, to me, it's like, of course I can put words into like chords and whatever, but at the end of the day, if something needs to be translated into something else, then okay, I can do that. But really, it all begins with what's going on between your two ears and just like listening. But I mean, yeah, of course, at the beginning, I was like, everybody's having different opinions and trying to like explain one idea like 5 different ways. So this is always like, I mean, yeah, but I come from that background also. It's like I mostly played with, like, let's say back then I was like playing reggae, and it was like nobody's really like, oh, what key is that? It was like pretty like it's all about the ears, really. So explain it a different way, but it's all music in the end, so that's all that matters. So
language.
Beautiful.
There's a question directly to JM. They're like, what would you tell the youngster who have been told that music theory is the only way to know music?
No, I don't believe so. I just believe that it's all about being dedicated to the whatever, especially in those times that we live in, where you can basically learn anything on the internet. So it's really about the amount of time that you put in, depending on clicking on your mouse, making beats and free loops. It doesn't matter, as long as you have like at least you're dedicated to it.
Yeah,
but I mean, of course, you.
I was gonna say that's some golden advice.
What?
Yeah.
I remember asking you like, oh, I think I need to change my strings. I think I need to change my guitar, and you were like, no, man, you just need to put in more hours. Just keep practicing. Cold hard truth. Cold hard truth.
The music that's already there around you. If you have an instrument, you sit with that music and you try to learn as much. You try to play along with that music. If you music theory is for I mean, most of the genres, like, you know, jazz, you really can't write it exactly with 18th century music theory, because that's really what's being taught. Music is a language. So if you want to learn Miles Davis, you sit with Miles Davis records and you learn Miles Davis. You play along with Miles Davis. You learn how to communicate. You learn how to, oh, you don't know how to say what scale. You play it. You know, you learn that stuff and you put in the hours. But
It's like
music theory is more for recording purposes, in my opinion.
Take notes, youngsters. This
it's
is
like
good
it's like
advice.
Google Translate. You know, like if you try and translate to another language, like there's a lot of syntax and a lot of like, you know, you can't talk street on Google Translate.
Oh,
I never tried.
Right, but try. It's really funny. Like try like writing like, you know,
Just like-
regular
like
talk like we do.
text language kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Or whatever, just like your regular street talk.
Yeah.
It never comes out right. It's always like garbled up.
Yeah. Thanks, Mario, for the question. There's a lot of things going on in the chat, so thanks to everybody who's here right now and listening to us, Nomadic Massive. Thanks a lot. So definitely we'll you know, get back to you shortly. Lou's back.
Yeah, popping in and out, man.
Like an effect.
That Brazilian Wi-Fi.
Nah,
I'm not on Wi-Fi, man. I'm all connected. Everything's beautiful. Beautiful. It's something greater at stake.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Something else going on. You know what I mean? It's time
God
to
has
let
a-
go.
God
It's
has a
time to let
plan
go,
for you.
Lou.
God has a plan for you. A digital plan for you.
I
They
believe
don't
so.
want us to be great, man.
The two ums together, and then the awkward pause.
I'm gonna put my background change because this is where we were the last time that we actually were officially together on tour, right? This is Mexico, Torreon, and it was like kind of like a really Quentin Tarantino-esque part of our tour. It was this kind of rundown hotel with a swimming pool with like half the water kind of yellowish.
Breaking Bad.
Don't hate on Torreon.
Hey.
No.
I'm talking about the hotel, not the city.
That hotel was not run down.
The hotel was beautiful,
No,
but the hotel
exactly.
spoke of another time. Let's say, you know, I was not trying to jump into that pool.
It spoke of another time, but it spoke of maybe another business.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Some sort of money laundering aspect.
The hotel was there. The
was
hotel
there.
was there. You know,
Rooms
but
were
what
there.
is there? There is just here without a T.
Walter White.
We
Walter White.
were looking deep. We were looking deep inside ourselves at that moment, and like I just want to draw your attention over here to this kind of UFO that is in the photo, you know. And I still believe, you know, I didn't before, but now that this, you know, that this light ship that flew through, this is an early morning shot, you know. It brought something to us because, you know, after that, it was from that point on that everything started to like kind of align itself and give us that boost that we needed to get back on the horse and start moving again. So this is a shout out to Torreon. No dissing of the hotel. The staff was wonderful. The cuisine was superb. And
cuisine was terrible. Do you remember the rotting? You remember the rotting fruit? You remember the rotting fruit when you opened the door?
I remember we ordered the most.
Like they leave the fruit. They leave the fruit.
Filet mignon or something like that.
Y'all are out here exposing Torreon.
Hey,
it's not
I'm
Torreon.
talking about a hotel experience.
However, remember that spot
us.
that we went to where we got some dope shirts and stuff from Slow.
I wrote the guy to send me more
Slow
shirts.
Kings.
Yeah, Sholo Kings.
Sholo Kings.
Yeah,
That was hype, man. I still
really
have my
dope.
sweat
That was
shirt
really
from
dope.
there. It's really nice.
No,
I
the
still
scene was
rock those. I
Juan,
still rock those.
how did we say the other cities?
Guanajuato.
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 Yeah.
Guanajuato.
Yeah, that was a nice spot.
Beautiful.
That was
Well,
that
all the-
festival,
Agreed.
Cervantino. Mhm.
Yes.
Do you remember the stage? Do you remember how crazy it was? The X Games
The stage was
stage.
crazy,
It was like a
though.
wrestling stage with like the 4 speakers pointing at us with the monitors pointing at us.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no, and it was like a
Particular-
catwalk. It was
Yeah.
like a catwalk, right? It had this like long
That
thing.
made no sense.
Yeah, that
And then I
was.
went into a taxi thanks to Miriam with a former gangster. Yep, that was great.
It was really exciting.
Yeah,
It was definitely exciting. That was that trip was
Yeah.
something else.
but
And
he
it
got
was-
us safely to our destination.
That's all that matters.
It's anywhere else.
That's all that matters. So how are we doing, Lou, with the do we have any
We're doing-
audios to share?
We're doing amazing. It's back to Torreon. Torreon is a beautiful city. All right. Let's put it out there. It's a beautiful city.
I never said otherwise. I was just
at
talking
the foot of a mountain.
Yes.
And and we had a late night walk after the show, which was strange. And there wasn't that many people. But it's a beautiful city. Go check it out. It's gorgeous. And we had a gigantic stage as well for that show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with like
That
with
was the
screens.
best stage and
That
best.
was the best stage.
Yeah.
The stage.
And
And we
more
got a lot of
importantly,
new fans. We got a lot of new fans. There's like a
Exactly.
lot of
Shout out
new
to Torreon
fans
crew,
in
man.
Mexico between those two cities that are
Yeah.
homies for real.
And they're still following us until today, you know? It's true.
And we went up north. 4 of us went up north before that too. Had a little own episode,
Yeah. The mountains.
right? With that picture of my pops too.
Oh, that's right.
Something else.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
Walk in the door and there's a picture of Lou's pop.
So that's it.
In 74.
Yeah.
Like, this was supposed to be the beginning of Nomadic Massive in Latin America. You know, it's always been on the horizon for us, and still seems to be. But interesting, we were like kind of at the door of Latin America. So that's something that we're still holding in our thoughts, in our hearts, to once the pandemic's over, to start exploring a little bit more the continent
out the mix.
some of us are from. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Wes.
I was going to say Butta's getting a shout out from Buenos Aires. A person that is a member of your family, but you have seen that person a few times, but they love Nomadic. That's what they said. But so I don't know if you remember them, but you could check that later.
So
Nice.
I want to bring you guys back a little bit, and I'm going to surprise you with a track. We're talking about creative process, and we sort of defined the way we were doing it before, which I think was really a learning curve for everybody. There was no real plan. It was just get together and do something, and we tried to turn that into music, and we made a few records. See if you could hear this before anything. Okay. Let me just get the right record here. Going through the discography. Boom. I'm going to bring you guys right back to a certain time. You tell me what it is you envision when you hear this music. Hold tight. And here we go.
Oh, I see it right now.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Bass bin on the corner of Rochelle and St. Laurent. And Bobards.
Nomadic massive is the way of the world exposed on the hidden birds. We only let it just 'cause we are
Citizens
trying
to make a change.
What do what we know, what do what we learn, no matter where we go, our music can alleviate some pain. Stop it around and be in her, governments will spread the word.
Double time.
We can go, we are you are
Angry
us.
Raps.
That is how we roll.
Going across it, nomadic classic. Fucking up your
Fuck up your Lake Placid!
like you wouldn't believe. I got people worldwide that I shouldn't have seen.
Oh, yeah, see.
Sound travels MTL to Rwanda. You're lost and yonder while we out stretching like Jane Fonda. No matter what the song, hey, we feeling the vibe. Trying to reach people's soul, feel the real in my eyes. Hey, yo, let's up and bring it back again. Fry the chicken till it burns like Pakistan. Acting bad, rocking the mic in a disorderly fashion, destroying and smashing any doubt we pour it in passion. And my canalizado por som da manhã. Estamos firmes sem dúvida. What's up now? Understanding the future of hip hop is on the planet, exactly in the way the leaders of the past planned it. Damn, don't it sound so sweet?
When your soul catch your mind with a sound that gives sight to the blind.
Damn, don't it sound so sweet?
When your soul catch your mind with a sound that gives sight to the blind.
Damn, don't it sound so sweet?
When your soul catch your mind with a sound that gives sight to the blind.
Big shout out to DJ Static.
I am from l'éveil, et bien après veille, gouvernement tomber l'éveil, kidnapper la loi, tout le monde fait j'y fois, exploitation moi, un tour en poise, l'ouest to kill for sunrise, pas qu'à y m'en sortir, I have to come and shine light, give me back my right, m'ka senti mieux, mais non mon j'aime pas avec vous, même pas de traîner, m'pas essayer, nous carré, mais nous qu'à penser à des mains, travaillons tous, petit pousse par pousse, les autres sont boulouses, je viens de la brousse, brut comme le naturel, 12 temps pour sirop, pas qu'elle en doit me viser dans l'échelle. Une fois qu'elle s'ennuie, quand on aime famille, même bataille de veille, attention, zigzagni. Equality, I escape from profanity, banality. Let's focus on humanity. Don't it sound so sweet?
Oh yeah.
Hate this break.
That bird on trumpet?
Hold up, it gets better.
Eyes bright, delightful just to see another day. What's some wrong with people still sleeping all day? But daydreaming, convinced they be doing something, but to them they be frontin' just like angels at the customs. Going all the way, nah, they fuck on full play. They wish to be shadows, cause we just love to follow. Vision is shallow like pinholes on blank walls. The walls are reflections off for them to stand tall. What they say they don't do, what they do is full of clues. Stiff like the glue from up north to Moscow. Pushing things back like manana's definite. Easily clipping on laziness, regard to the stress. The brains 2 miles an hour versus church with no power. Chef cooking out rhymes converted to meal. Always ready and following it like my man Uncle Ben. Today is the new day, so raise your hand and say. Don't it sound so sweet?
When your soul catch your mind with the sound that gives sight to the blind.
Don't it sound so
When
sweet?
your soul catch your mind with the sound that gives sight to the blind.
Don't it sound so sweet?
When your soul catch your mind with the sound that gives sight to the blind.
Don't it sound so sweet?
When your soul catch your mind with the sound that gives sight to the blind.
Damn, don't it sound so sweet?
Damn, don't it sound so sweet?
Don't it sound so sweet?
Definitely.
Don't it sound so sweet?
Throwback.
That's Bird.
Was that 11 years ago now?
Oh,
Yo, how old though?
Yo, definitely.
Throwback for real.
I like
Shout
that.
out Blackbird. Shout out Jason Blackbird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, 08. Oh,
I think 07 recorded
07?
maybe. 07, 08, yeah, 08.
Well, where'd you guys
Yo.
write that in Cuba, no? Hey, baby girl.
Actually, you're
so
right.
it's actually
Yeah.
06. It's 06.
You're right. It's 06. Yeah, you're right. It's 06.
2006.
That was my first
So-
year Nomadic.
That was.
Wow. Was it 05?
Yeah, it was summer 05.
It was your
I
first trip.
Yeah,
It was your
05.
First trip. Yeah.
So
Hey, yo,
about
Sa-
that track.
Sam P. Baudry says, yes, it is. Sounds so sweet. How many times I played that one? So sounds so sweet. Played it so. Yo, shout out to Sam.
Killer
Silence.
Sam, man.
Yo,
So,
Côte des Neiges.
Word up.
if we got that track, you know, it definitely brings back, and it sounds cohesive. You know what I mean? I don't know how we put it together.
That
considering
was,
how we used to work back then. You know?
but yeah, I could tell you piecemeal how it operated. I remember we did, at that time we were also doing at least one show a month at that was like the beginning of our Bobards run, and plus we were doing all cities like all across Montreal and the greater triangle between Ottawa and some other joints. But we were practicing a lot. Then we would do a lot of jams. We had already set up at Maison de Jeunes Côte de Neige, which is how Miriam came through those doors. Remember?
Totally.
So true.
Military viewing.
Yeah, and then we were at the original. We were at the original MBS on Décollé, and that song "Take My Space," and I think Mapuche as well. It's not Mapuche. What's it called?
Say the least.
Say the least. That's from that generation. That's from that era where we were piecemeal building stuff. Some people had verses or have verses written, and then we built it into a cohesive song. Because remember, we had at one point we had songs where there was just like all it was changes,
Yeah. And that's what we
So
see
true.
there. That's what we see there.
Yeah.
Also is
go
that
ahead.
time when I played guitar as well. Sounds so sweet.
That's
That's
true.
Elise.
That's a Wally
That's
scan.
true.
Yeah,
That's the Wally
These
scan.
are the loops. Yeah.
And the loop.
it's the original one. Yeah,
So the track was built also. We used to rehearse on Park Avenue. What was that spot called? I forget.
solo drum.
Solo drum.
Solo drum. Okay, yeah. And we took this one to Cuba in 2006. We went to the studio in Cuba with Monstro, which was the dude that had, his mom had an old broken down mansion, and he built a studio in that old mansion. With this mahogany wood that he imported from like the Cayman Islands, if I remember well.
So true.
And we
Bit by
recorded that. He worked on boats. He was a soundman on boats on cruise ships for tourists in the Caribbean. And we recorded there. There's shout outs to give. Tally said there's Blackbird. There's Vox Boo that drops a verse as well.
The gal on the
There-
bass.
Jigal on the bass. And there's also, rest in peace, Alfredo on the percussion,
That's right.
who performs on the bata, right? And he recorded that in Cuba. And then the actual mix, that was DNA, right?
Yeah, it went back. We used everything that we did in Cuba. We used as like a template for what we then brought to DNA.
That was Dave
Right.
Sturton.
That was Dave Sturton, and that's an interesting thing because we went. That was our first time, very green, going in with instruments. Because the first record we were using beats, and we played a couple instruments on top of that. That's the first time we rolled in with the drums and everything. And man, was that, that was rough for us because when you're coming from hip hop and trying to do, that hip hop drum sound, and then you're dealing with engineers that have their skills but they don't necessarily have that background, and us not being able to translate it in technical terms. I remember that being extremely difficult. That's changed
Live
a
off
lot
the
today.
floor. He was like, live off the floor, live off the floor.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
bleeding
yeah,
everything into everyone.
yeah.
I'm gonna
which
make
was-
that
which
album
was-
sound like $1 million.
Right, I remember.
Then we had the epic jam with Jean Leloup.
We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
can't
did.
leave that story out.
All right, shoot.
Jean Leloup.
You have so many gems of stories.
At that spot?
Algerian wine, no? Didn't he bring Algerian
Yeah.
wine?
Jean Leloup came to the studio to jam with Nomadic Massive and brought 1 or 2 bottles of Algerian wine because Jean Leloup grew up in Algeria
Right.
at some point where his parents worked, and he loved Algerian wine. I guess that's what he. Interestingly enough, that's the thing he kept from Algeria.
Also, he brought some substance from Algeria, other substance.
Yeah.
That was the wildest
Morocco, I
jet,
think.
the wildest.
That looks like
jam
black
session.
stones. That looks like black stones that could
I think it was
that are
the
shiny, could skim across the water.
Well, it was a strange experience to say the least. It was interesting and mind opening, not the stones, but the actual music experience.
Right.
But I watched it. I didn't take part in the actual jam.
Oh,
I
it was
watched it from
intense.
the-
It
from
was
the inside,
intense.
It's horrible.
Tell us a bit
It
more,
was
like,
intense. Yeah, I loved it. I
Wow,
loved
what
it. I
a
loved it, but it was
juxtaposition.
intense.
Ali said
horrible. I loved
intense.
it.
Wally said
Yeah.
horrible.
No, Jean Lelou's a trip. I love that dude.
You know what I liked about that experience, because I know it was like, everybody has an angle, but it was like, get out whatever is in there. That was Jean Leloup style. It's like, is that all you got? Give me more.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I don't know how everybody took that, but as a guitarist,
And he was like,
'cause he was also playing guitar. Yeah,
When
he was playing
the
guitar too. It was
Arrête-le,
challenging.
arrête-le.
Ah, ah.
screaming at us.
I don't know. I liked it. I stand by
I
it.
thought thought he was cool, to be honest. He was like very eccentric or whatever, but it was exactly who you think Jean Leloup is in a way. You know, it was really that very
It was
experienced.
authentic.
And as much as it was rough on the ego in the way he was like no BS taker, like he would just tell you straight, don't chase her.
It's true.
But he had a very interesting approach to creation, man. Like it was definitely for me a learning experience.
Feeling the feelings.
Freedom, like just
Yeah.
that level of freedom of just being in flow and no restriction and no. As much as he could be critical and hard, he was super free, and that was really interesting to watch and to witness.
Did we get anything that he did on this record? There's something that's on this record, on that record.
No. But you know what?
That's
He
it.
shortly after he released a song called "Damn, Don't It Sound So Sweet," and it made me think. Made me think.
Funny though, when you listen to some of his older stuff, he always does some kind of like rap-ish flow in his music. Like his vocal stuff. I was just listening to some Jean Leloup today, actually, Je joue la guitare, and he does that kind of stuff in that track where he's rapping. I mean, when he came to that session, he wasn't doing any vocal stuff with us. I had my own experience going back to try to do some back vocals for him. Didn't quite work out, but it was a learning experience.
It's all learning. It's all learning.
But you know, remember after that day, we had to go back to DNA studio to continue recording the record. After that night with big shout out to Jean Leloup still.
Word up, word up, word up.
Word up. You know, he's an amazing artist.
Legend,
And especially
legend.
not à la culture québécoise. You know, he contributed a lot to here. And the next day we were recording Ruler. And his guitar happened, Jean Leloup's guitar happened to, he forgot it.
Yeah.
So I played Ruler using Jean Leloup's guitar.
And
The
those
Algerian wine.
guitars went,
The Algerian
for
wine
the-
helped
went
us
for
all
a lot
out.
of money, man.
It was
Those
a great
guitars
guitar.
went, they
So
used to
Ruler-
sell them.
Yeah, so thanks a lot, Jean Leloup, if you're listening to this, you know. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup,
Utiliser ta
Jean Leloup.
guitare pour jouer Ruler, you know.
Je t'aime
So-
fort, je t'aime
Push-
fort.
Je t'aime beaucoup,
pushing
man.
us to the next level. That's it.
Yo, based on this conversation,
Mhm.
based on this conversation, Maria here in the WhatsApp, listen to me. And the YouTube has a question.
Okay.
She asks, discipline versus free reign creativity. Where do you guys think the line is needed to be drawn,
Jesus.
if even needed?
Oof.
Going back
Hey,
to
we
what
were
Miriam-
we were on that. We were on that a little bit. How to navigate those two spaces. Who was left to talk about that? Louis didn't talk about it too much. I know.
Punctuality.
Yeah. Deadlines. Wally spoke about giving himself deadlines, writing things on the whiteboard.
But I think if I understand the question well, I think she means in the creative process itself, like going into the studio,
Okay.
roll in,
Or
shoot
record
there.
your free range creativity. That's one thing we probably should have been doing from early on, because seeing as we weren't reading from charts, we would write stuff, we would play stuff in the jam context and really, really enjoy it and like it and want to do something with it, but not remember what we just did. So
No,
the
we would
free
spend a
range
lot
is
of
great.
time on that.
The free range is great, and I think I'm probably like the number one perpetrator of new ideas at the most inconvenient
Queen idea.
at the most
Queen
inconvenient
idea.
moments. So I'm
Indeed.
down for free range.
Facts.
But
And
free
we've just
range
finished this 90-minute
constrained.
set. But how about we just tweak this
I was
last little
just
part?
thinking-
I was just
Yeah.
thinking. I saw this Jean Leloup video, and I thought he was doing this thing on this song Je l'aime guitar, and it's like if you could just put that in there in the right key, maybe we could do it. Can you,
That's the
can you
wrong
take
key.
it
That's the
down
wrong
half a
key.
step?
Drop the
Can you-
key.
yeah,
Yeah.
put
Take it down.
step down,
Take it
a
down.
step down.
You got it.
Modulate.
Could we print like a batch of T-shirts for the show at 8:00? I got this logo.
But in defense now of Tally, because I watch you guys, since I haven't joined you guys in over a year now.
Right.
I watch your shows, right? Your online shows. And there's a show you guys did where I know it was like a Tally madness situation where she rolled in and said, we're gonna redo the whole song differently. All the arrangements. Let's try it. Let's go. And then you guys did it, and I watched it, and it was refreshing and it was interesting. Of course, had you had like 5 hours to do it instead of half an hour, it probably would have been even doper. But the free range of Tally is something to be valued. The timing of it could be worked on. So it's balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the discipline part. That's the balance.
Intimate and interactive, ladies and gentlemen.
Also, we're a lot to manage on stage, just like creatively. Like it's space management in musical terms, and it's like whenever we're in crunch time, we don't really have that much time to be too like free spirited. Unfortunately,
It's a lot of heads.
it's a lot
Yeah, I
of
mean, coming back
and a lot of
together to
micromanagement
communicate
too.
stuff
A lot
is
of
hard.
micromanagement.
Yeah, if you didn't record it or if you didn't use the nomenclature, I guess, like, it's like you I remember when we used to go back and forth, it's like, it's in E. No, are you sure this one is in A? And then we realized we're just playing like where those two intersect, and then each person thought that they were in a different key, and that was like how things used to work at the beginning.
Oh, U and D that was the bet. Those were
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
those
But
were
cool things came out of it, because it wasn't like
Yeah,
this
the-
doesn't work, but it does work. It sounds right.
Yeah.
I can answer just a part of that question. Is one of the best experience that we had that was a mix of um, free range creativity and then discipline was when we were in France touring. So we had this
That's true.
spot where we could just, it was really huge, and like Jean-Michel pulled out his keys, but I had all his drums set up. So between the Naim sessions and the Nomadic sessions,
Oh, in
we
the house.
yeah, in the house.
In the
Yeah.
house.
So
In the house by the vineyards. In
exactly,
between sandwiched in between
exactly.
vineyards.
Cool,
crazy.
super.
Mm-mm.
So what happened is that was pure free range, because we would finish a show, or sometimes we'd have 2-3 days off or whatever it was. And no matter what you do, as soon as a musician sees an instrument, they pick it up. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, I see a mic and I pick it up. And then like it was so natural, and it would not stop. Like it would go on and on to like 2-3 in the morning. And that was free range. Sometimes we'll forget to record, sometimes we'll record it. And I think later it kind of played out as a basis for our writing sessions. We eventually brought to the studio under the format of pseudo free range, and collect as much ideas and samples to eventually make full on beats from, So
And that's a
that
cool
worked
point.
out.
That's a cool point you're making about how we were just trying to be more productive on tour because of that downtime. Like those 4 days off and everything. And then we realized, well, we're all here. You don't have to set up another practice. And I think that was a boost in efficiency and creativity. It's almost become a format. If we can get back on tour, it'll work. Buddy, you
Yeah.
want to say something?
Well, there was a swimming pool there,
That's always necessary.
and we can segue. We can
Yeah.
segue into
The initiation of Mark and Jam, but you can't talk too much about that. Remember, because it was like a bit sacred.
I want to hear Mark about it and Jam.
Yeah, I think if someone's gonna talk about it, it should be Mark because he can share what he is allowed to share. But let's talk about that.
Well, what was that like for both of you? What was that like, that first tour we went on in 2017? I think the France run more than the Canada run.
Jam.
No, I mean, it's touring is it's always a interesting like travel. I guess it's a lot of ups and downs, but I feel like it's a lot more ups than downs. I mean, depending on
Who you're with,
what's your
yeah.
character, really.
It's a lot of problem
But-
solving.
Yeah, basically. But it was fun going to France and just traveling, just seeing different things, different lifestyles, different like way of seeing the world, and basically just. So yeah, I had like a lot of great times, and I mean the pool was pretty important because nothing more constant than the current.
right Team Pounce, baby.
Yeah,
Pounce.
Team Pounce, please. Yeah, no other team.
Yeah, we cover all water sports. Team Pounce.
yeah, it's all about the Pounce.
So,
yeah.
Yo, Evan Shea has a question for the Team Pounce. It's like I'm planning for a tour. I will be applying for grants in order to make that possible. What are the minimum nomadic massive swimming pool specification that I should write in? Specific requirements.
A good balance between salt water and chlorine is always accepted, right?
Mhm,
You get more buoyancy, you get more bop when you're bopping around in the water. Ideally there's a fruit tree that's hanging over it like the one at the house that we were at, where it had the fresh figs, and you would just be like swimming, you know, and then you like reach over and just grab a fig and then swim away, and then
No,
walk
but
in it.
shout out though to musicians like Evan Shea, man. Evan Shea.
He was there. He was there.
He's there. He
Evan
was with us.
Shea. Evan Shea in the Nomadic mix, man.
Yeah.
Yo,
It was the peanut
just-
butter tart jelly. Like it was
yeah, man. He just joined and became the triplets with a part of the with Lou and Butter. Like they just the three of them in their beards, you just couldn't figure out who was who. But for real though, man, I miss Evan Shea a hell of a lot on stage.
Yeah,
and
shout
off
out to
stage.
Evan.
Yeah,
Shout out
for
Evan.
real. And Scott and Bevins.
Mm,
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Evan on the creative side because he
Shout out to all
upped
our
his-
horn players. Shit, we got
he
so many
upped-
horn players.
So many. Yeah.
Evan upped his game as a beat.
Modibo.
Evan upped his game as a beat maker this year, big time. Over the last year, you know, he's been attending faithfully the loop sessions.
Mm.
And I remember the beats a year ago, and I hear them now, and I see the progression. And you know, I mean, the man has musicality, we know that, but his beat making skills have gone up, which is
He's also nice. He took some of the nicest photos of us ever as well. 2 times around.
Yeah, the
So
Nunavut photos.
He did our black and
Callaway.
whites. He did our black and whites. He did the ones in that weird spot. Where was it? In like Lachine or something like that, beside like a rose bush.
That's how we discovered. I mean, that's how we met him at first as our photographer. And then next thing I know, you're like, oh, he's gonna play the sax with us in the next show. And I'm like,
Yeah, because Modibo actually put me onto him. 'Cause
right.
Modibo was the connection. Then they were playing together in that formation for a while. And we talked. Remember, we talked around a lot. We always had like it was either trombone, saxophone, or saxophone trumpet, and then sometimes we had all 3. So we had a lot. You know, Ishem as well. Who else? Kaz.
Oh, yes. Vincent.
So we're gonna give a
Definitely.
shout outs
Oh.
to all these people that have been with us, and we hope that they'll meet us, you know, online for our future sessions. We have featurings coming up. We have windows into our recording sessions. We got tour anecdotes, so many other things to share with you guys. So we really do appreciate your participation today, and keep the questions coming, whether on the show or before, because we'll line them up and we'll answer. We'll give you shout outs. This thing is only going to grow. So I really want to thank everybody for participating, and also the Nomadic crew that's here is really exposing themselves and showing like this side that we always answer so briefly in interviews. So thanks a lot, guys. It's really good to see you again. So I don't know if there's anything else to show before we go.
Couple things.
yeah, there's a couple things left on the menu.
Where is it?
One of the things we were gonna say is we wanted to know what everybody's been up to, you know, and some of the things we wanted to share, or some of the creations, some of the things that people did, getting creative without Nomadic. And I was sent a few things. Some of them I never heard, so it's gonna be a surprise to me, and we could share a little bit of that, and then we could wrap up with the stuff that the musicians have already started working on, because the project, just to remind everybody, this is our first week out of 12. The musicians already are getting together. They're creating different creative pieces. Then the beat makers will be looking at that sort of like as a sample bank. We'll all be listening to that for maybe potential inspiration for writing, and then we'll get into the actual writing as well, you know, doing all these new compositions as Nomadic Massive, but for once and for all, without the pressure of having to have a product at the end in order to rush towards a tour. So this is really a creative project, you know, and it's process before results. That being said, let me step into a track by Wally. You want to introduce it, Wally?
Yeah. The track will play. It's a track that I mean, it's a track that's been dated for a long time. Actually, Lou had made this beat, I think it's almost 8 years or 9 years ago. But that beat was lost. So we recreated classic, yeah. And, you know, I rediscovered the beat. last year, and I was like, I was listening to the demo. I really liked the song, and I was like, let me just rework and finish that as a complete song. And it's called More Than One Day. Big shout out to David Richman, who came up strong with the keys, and and also to Farley, Emil Farley. Go check out also his project. He played bass on that track as well. So
perfect. And I'm gonna ask you to share it from your computer, Wally, because there seems to be some issues here on my side.
Oh snap! I was not ready for that.
That's all good. That's the beauty of live zooming.
So you guys can do a beatbox at the same time?
Yeah. No, we don't need the beatbox interlude. Maybe you guys, the musicians, can tell us a little bit how the studio's been going. Like,
well, I can even share. I'll just share like one track and stuff like that as well. A slow jam.
I'm about to play it, but it was.
Never mind. It's okay.
Whatever. I'm ready.
Real ready.
Wow, that beat's banging, bro.
Yeah, no.
Thumping kicks.
Yo, thumping song, bro. Tell me if you guys hear it.
When you share your screen, you gotta share your sound.
Yeah.
Then go into advanced and music or computer sound only.
Yeah, more of that.
Right, Lou?
Yep.
What's going on over there, Miriam and Tally? Settle down. Settle down.
You guys hear something?
No.
Yeah, the kids in the back.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say Butters 1-year-old.
Let's run Butters now, and then after that, we can figure it out.
Okay. So let me share my joint here. Boops. You guys hear that?
Oh.
No.
Oh, I know why. Audio preferences, audio, output device, Zoom audio device, apply. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mute your mic, Butter.
Yeah, baby. It's about that time where we take it to another planet. Why, yeah, yeah. My baby's crying on the Zoom.
Hell yeah, man.
All right.
Like that.
Word up.
And that was Mark Haynes on the bass.
That was Mark Hayes on the bass, Jean-Michel on the keys, Ali on the noodles.
Ramen number 5, baby.
Ramen number 5. This is it. and me on the drums. And the way we are trying to envision it, at least, is like we have one set time where we all get together. We have that kind of free form, free spirited approach, jamming and stuff like that. People bring, obviously some ideas to it. And then a secondary session, which is more focused on particular instruments that we want to collect a lot of like source material for future productions. So sometimes there's been difficult moments in our production of albums and LPs to combine our love of studio digital music, like, beat, hip hop production and whatnot, and then incorporating live elements and stuff like that. And it's always like an evolving hybrid. And this is kind of a new approach where we're really taking notes of everything we're doing, and we're trying to be more organized about the stuff that maybe Tally was talking about, where it was loose and we free, but then we couldn't remember. So really archiving everything, looking back at it together, talking about it, focusing on it, and then building off of that. Yeah.
So put that up on the drive so we could all hear it.
Yeah, well, there's 11 gigs of stuff right now, so I got to go through all of it and just chop it up, and then I'll put it in.
Nice. Thank you for that.
No doubt.
Wally, you want to try the track?
Yeah. You need to, Dora, you need to stop sharing your screen or sharing the sound so I can try.
Yo, Wally looks really concerned right now.
I would be too.
Pressure.
This live stream life is stressful, man.
Yeah. What are the comments saying now, Wally?
So Felix LeBlanc just rolled in and he said, "Hey, I just got in. What are you guys up to?"
What it do?
What up?
We out here.
Chilling.
End of the road.
All right.
Miriam's teasing you out, but Miriam's
Not
trying to get
happening.
you to do your R&B singing.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm a closeted Nomadic Master Room, my rap career, and also R&B in
Your
the closet.
R&B career.
R&B in the closet is the next non-existent album.
It also should be noted that there's a subgroup within the musicians called the Jerry Curls,
That's right.
right? Formed, I think, on a coastal town in France
That's right.
by a pool.
Definitely, Team Pounce had a lot of influence in that.
Someone
Those-
wanting to?
Those shared experiences, yeah. Not Algerian, but French. Bordeaux, usually typically a Bordeaux or a Beaujolais.
Have you explained the nomadic language, this Pounce business? Like, do people know?
Do they know?
Did anybody explain that? Or
I think some things need to be left mysterious,
right?
but Team Pounce
Right.
is Team Pounce. If you know, you know.
Ski Boy is asking if Wally is tripping. No, he's just trying to figure out the audio.
Yeah, I can't figure it out right now. So maybe jump to another person right now because it's not happening. It'll be for next Friday.
All good. Well, the other person that was going to play something that may have it handy was JM. JM, you worked on a dope project, 2 dope projects over the pandemic, to use the word. You want to tell us a little real quick about those 2 projects before we wrap up?
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play it, but because I'm a Zoom beginner. But yeah, I've worked with we're playing Giza, and I work with Maya Aloha. We're playing Giza as like 3 other producers. One of them is a rapper also. So we did a project, I guess it's 3 months ago now, called Don't Throw Rocks at the Moon. So yeah, it was something that we did like
That's good advice, actually.
That's good.
That's good advice,
Yeah, no, definitely. Don't hurt your arms for no reason.
right?
Yeah.
Throw out your goddamn shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, we did that project like we kind of we dedicated ourselves to that project like for like 6 days or a week and just kind of did the whole thing really. Then after get some minor changes with them later on, but yeah, so it was a cool experience. It was just like those dudes are like super talented, great guys, and man, the music speaks for itself. So yeah, I should listen to it. And also worked with Maya Aloha. We did like a R&B project, which I was able like to produce and did some writing a little bit also, and then some mixing and all the stuff that I wanted to get better at. And I mean, the pandemic happened, so it's like kind of a blessing in disguise, even though, you know, it kind of sucks, but I was able to do a lot of things that I would not have the time before. So I really, I kind of enjoyed those
They
times.
were enjoyable. That's true.
Yeah, part of it is like, yeah, I mean, a lot of it, like, there was a lot of negative impact, but I mean, you make the best out of it, really. so yeah, we did that project and it came out like, what is it, like 2 weeks now? It's been 2 weeks. Maya Aloha, called First Date. And yeah, it's the first project, and I met her like a while ago, so it was, you know, took a pandemic to make that happen. So I'm happy about it. It's a really cool project, some cool R&B track, you know. If you like it, you know, click on it.
We do.
He also has this side thing. I just wanted to make sure he was kind of being humble about it. But since he lives out in Park X, he's really kind of developed a tight connection with the Greek community, and he's one of the most sought after persons for tasting. No, just feta cheese is really his thing, and so they started calling him Jean-Michel Federic.
Yeah, plate smashing launch.
That's how you're gonna take us out.
Yes, indeed. That's it.
That's how Butterbeats takes us out.
Well,
all right, y'all, I'm out.
What can we expect on episode 2, Lou, just to keep people in tune with where we're going with this?
Well, listen, we'll definitely be listening to, you know, all those side projects a little more. We're delving more into the creative process of us all. We got a glimpse of what you guys been up to in the studio. Let us remind you that it's only the musicians. So as vocalists, we don't know what's going on, and we hear it for the first time every Friday. You know, but upload those things. You know, us vocalists will definitely take a look at it. Who knows? Maybe we'll come up with something. We're supposed to do that, you know, a little further down the project, but it's always open. And we definitely have more things to share. A lot of side projects going on, a lot of future projects going on. So, in a lot of conversations to be had. Just before we go, I just want to give a shout out to Knox, who's also here and said much love. And Vanessa Apia, who said, hey, much love, Montreal Heroes.
Hey.
And, much
Yo,
love.
where's my Ghana jersey? Ask her that.
Well, she could hear you.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Where is it? Vanessa.
And Ali Sepu, you get a shout out from Mizuki Sheriff.
Right? Mizuki. Yes, indeed. What's up,
She
man?
says, what's up?
Yes. Thanks for being there.
So yeah, man, on that note, thank you, you know, for spending this time, man. It's great. You know, we're about 10,000 kilometers away from each other in my case, maybe even more with Mark. I can't calculate, you know, the diagonal towards Prague. But yeah, I'm in Sao Paulo, Mark's in Prague, everybody's in Montreal. I don't know where everybody in the comments is from, but much love.
Ali's in Laval.
I'm in Laval.
Ali,
should be stated, should be
Laval.
said. You spell it any way you want. It gives you
That's
Laval.
very far from Miriam.
Or back.
Yeah, LA.
Yeah,
and
LA. That's right.
2 different levels.
What do they call it? Chumpton. Shamedy. Chumpton.
Yeah, and also real quick, just stay in tune with the socials as well. Like, holler at us. We really appreciate what's been going on as far as like you guys reaching out to us on an individual level, and we're gonna keep on trying to push some content and just keep this thing bubbling so that we can grow it into something much bigger than what we thought or hoped it would be. So we love you, etc., etc.
Send all your questions, you know what I mean, your comments. We're taking it. This is like a creative project that you guys could take part in as well.
Absolutely.
So that's it.
I don't know if she's here, but shout out to Annie Simon, who sent me a message on Instagram inviting us to Kamouraska when we can go back out, because loves us. She calls us heroes, superheroes. And she was bumping duty today.
Nice.
Nice.
Real nice.
So let's stay connected, people. Let's stay tuned and stay safe. So
You rock
thank
the
you.
mic like all day.
All day, all night.
Master in this duty now. You know what
Give me what
time
time
it
it
is.
is.
Rock the mic like all day, all
Enjoy your
night.
weekend, fam.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye,
Hasta
moi.
luego.
Bye, Jean-Michel.
Deuces.
Bye.